start, and we have to go down as core Java. So we'll
Okay.
go through some questions on core Java, then Spring Boot, microservices, and then other things. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll start with the core Java first. So my first question will be that why Java do not support multiple inheritance?
Multiple inheritance, because other programming languages has this multiple inheritance, which there is a called a concept issue called deadly diamond. So multiple classes inherit. Actually, that concept is not a pure object. The design, it's against the design that multiple concrete class implementing. So you have to code to interface. So other like C++ and all has this multiple inheritance, that is multiple classes can be extended. So that is create a deadly diamond issue. But Java has the feature of interface. So everything, the concept is like everything has to substitute it using the interface. So that is as per the design rules.
Okay, that's fine. That's enough. So as we know that the strings are immutable in nature,
Okay.
but so we would like to know that why the string is made immutable. What was the reason
String,
of making this immutable?
actually immutable means once it is assigned, it values cannot be changed. So thing is like if some um, actually string has this concept of string pool where each the duplicate same element, the same values goes and the pointer reference is made. Suppose if someone um, to avoid change of its values, so that um, during runtime these values are not replaced. So in the string has the concept of the string pool also to manage that.
Okay. Whatever you said, that seems to be almost correct, but still to store passwords, we do not encourage strings.
Yeah, that is right. Because it can be accessible.
Right, right. If anybody has thread terms, that we can access that. Okay, that's good. So moving to next, why Java has added functional interfaces? What was the need?
Yeah. Need of functional interface. So this again comes with the design concept, that is replace with interface towards program towards interface. So when Java has initially has this anonymous methods and anonymous classes which does not have a name, and runtime it will create a class with some name internally it will create. So that is found as a performance issue in the Java backer versions like 5, 600. In 7, 7 has an updated concept called dynamic invoking. Like internally, it helps to call the methods using pointer. Using from there, they comes with the, so other languages has this concept of like a smaller code, concise code. They are all coming up with smaller code, and the smaller code and also what okay, your question is like why, so this lambda expressions is coming with the in a functional interface. Okay, so functional,
that's correct. That's
yeah,
correct.
the functional interface is actually the concise code which helps in this more less CPU utilization. comparing to an anonymous method. So this uses internally it uses called a dynamic invoking. That's a pointer to a function internally. It is
Right.
represented, but interface, you see, everything is like you don't need to write all the interfaces methods with unnecessarily. Suppose you are writing interface, previously you had to write all the interfaces like move, operate, all the things. Unnecessarily the class will implement, you has to forcefully implement all the things. It comes with the functional interface. No, you can have this abstract and static, which is only one functional interface that you implement with
Mhm.
that.
Okay, that seems to be correct. Okay, so as we know that in order to compare objects, we have comparable and comparator. So comparable is used to compare the self object with other. But why we need comparator?
Yeah, self object to other, as you said. So here in a comparable, suppose you have a class, you can implement this comparable and override that compare to and do a compare. Okay. The thing is that the class, you can do modifications on that. You can implement it to it. But suppose you in comparator, what is you are giving the comparing logic.
Mhm.
Suppose you want to compare with age, employee name, and all. Uh, you are
Mhm.
in other one. You are you can. Sorry, in here in using comparator, you are passing the sorting logic to
Mhm.
the sorter. Okay, the two objects you have this object one integer compare method, it returns an integer, and you can pass the two objects like and compare with object one minus two and return the value. So basically, if it is you cannot touch your existing sorting class, the class, you can use this comparator separately and give the logic to that sorting.
That's right. That's what I want to do. Yeah, good. So what's the difference between hash table and concurrent hash map?
Hash table.
And concurrent hash map, both
Hash table. Okay, hash table,
both
hash
are
map. Okay,
supervised.
both are based on the hash table concept.
Right.
But one is in the older hash table is older one and it's a deprecated one, which is synchronized one.
Mhm.
In hash map, it's a newer one came and it is not synchronized.
No,
So most of
I'm sorry. I'm asking about concurrent hash map. So
concurrent hash map. Okay,
why we need?
so you can operate the two thread can a thread can enter into this hash map and
Mhm.
change its values, or multiple thread can access this concurrent hash map.
Right. So in concurrent hash map, what is the locking mechanism? How locking happens?
Okay, concurrent hash map. Uh, Locking is happening on that particular method. I think exactly. I don't remember. It will be on you get and put no on that particular method.
Mhm. Yeah. So in hash map, there is a locking mechanism while updating any data, the object that contains in the hash map. Also, there is a concept called mm, concurrency level. Any idea on that?
Concurrency level, that is based when you creating the concurrent hash map, you are defining that level.
Yes, that's
Uh,
overloaded method.
okay.
Mm, good. Okay. So while serializing a class, okay, suppose some of the members of a class
Mm,
is not serializable in nature. Even
mm,
though if you try to serialize a class,
mm.
what will happen? Will it give a compile error, or will it get some exception, or will it clear
Means
runtime?
you are asking about some transient variables or
No,
something which is not.
there is no any transient variable.
So okay, so no non-serializable exception.
Right, right. So what is the role of serial version UID?
That is during the taking back of this object. No. Uh, so using this ID is used to during deserialization. It is used for
What is
finding the
that
exact.
ID? What ID does it contain? What value?
It's a very long. It's a long value. Uh, it's a. It may be a. Um, mm, maybe a location of
Memory location, you mean to say?
memory location because no, you are no, that I cannot clearly say as a memory location. We cannot say. I'm not sure about it. It's a ID which represent
Yeah, definitely. It's a very long
a
ID.
particular object. Yeah, it's a long object. It's may not be a direct memory location, but a reference to indicate that the same class, same object is.
Mhm. Okay, that's not an issue. So, uh, in Java 8, so Java has made some memory enhancement. Okay, so they have replaced the Pumpkin space with meta space.
Hmm.
What was the reason for this?
Actually, these whenever you run this big, very big list, suppose the JVM has less memory, it will give a out of memory exception. No, previously. So what we have to do is we have to increase memory. Now this meta space, that is a unlimited memory based on the physical RAM.
Mhm. Right.
So there is no concern about this memory out of memory issue for
Yeah,
the
it's
avoiding.
right. It's a growable in nature.
Yeah, it is up limit is to the main memory allocated by the OS to the Java process.
That's cool. So now moving to the next section, that is Spring Boot. So in the Spring Boot, the basic annotation, that is at the rate Spring Boot application, what
Hmm.
it does internally when application starts.
See, previously we have to write a iterate component scan, and
Mhm.
basically it will initialize the. It is a combination of component scan and uh, initialization process.
Mhm. So
Uh,
this application, this annotation is consist of three main annotation. It's combination of
yeah,
what are those three?
iterate component scan is one.
Right.
Other one is
Other one is at the right configuration.
iterate the configuration. So configuration here we are not giving using XML configuration. Here we are doing using the either it is loading from the property file. Or that is property file loading is also there. Then using annotations, we give the configurations.
hmm And the
So
third one is what?
third one is
At the right enable auto configuration.
auto configuration. Auto configurations do all these. We are doing configuring this database and all. No, we previously we had to give in XML. So now it's in property file. It will load that multiple database or any other dependencies and.
hmm
There are a lot of configurations in the property file, so those whole things will be configured and loaded, so that we don't need to both. It's a faster way to do that.
Okay. Suppose uh, we want to change the default server, which is
Mm,
Tomcat, to some other.
mm,
What
mm.
changes we need to do?
See, in the pom.xml, you have to make that is Jetty plugin. You have to Jetty starter.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, that Spring that plugin for this Jetty or some other server, you have to add it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. That's good. So suppose as you know that at the enable auto configuration picks up the default configuration which are embedded through pom.xml. Suppose we want to exclude some configuration, like for some of the database configure which is auto loaded, we want to remove or do not
Okay.
how to exclude.
Exclude. I think that you can do in programmatically. You can exclude it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
exact annotation I don't remember, but through programmatically you can exclude that configurations.
No, we can easily do it by using an annotation at the rate enable auto configuration in the parameter we pass. One parameter that is called exclude. Exclude equals to name of the
Oh,
class.
okay, yeah.
So moving to next, once the Spring application starts up, so there will be multiple beans loaded to your context. Okay, so
Okay.
how to know or how to list down all the beans of application?
Uh, Means you want to see using a endpoint.
Yes, yes.
That is, if you have a actuator plugin,
Mm-hmm.
you can that health check URLs are there. No, from there you can
Mm-hmm.
know it.
You are going in right directions. What the URL that?
The URL I don't remember, but I have used it for health somewhere sometime. But using that way only, you can get it
Yeah, that is slash
loaded.
beans.
Slash
Actuator
bin.
slash
Oh, bin.
beans.
Okay, okay.
Mm. So, talking about the security, so what kind of security you are using in your project?
We use multiple. Actually, we use. I'm working in Azure Cloud with some projects are in cloud we have to deploy. That is Azure
Mm-hmm.
AD we have to use with auth code, general token and all, with client secret and all. Some are in WebSphere we have to use Spring Security with LDAP. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Spring has this. We can give the annotation that enable auto configuration, enable web
Mm-hmm.
security, enable global security, and there are providers that like LDAP providers and all.
Mm-hmm.
So in that LDAP providers, you can you have that you can write the particular roles and all. And in this Spring Security, Spring
So, in your
providers,
application,
the
how
providers,
you
yeah,
okay?
providers we have. Okay, tell me.
So, what I'm asking that how to manage the authentication and authorization both. LDAP user will have some
Roles.
authentication. Okay,
Okay.
roles that is
Okay.
can be admin or any. But how to manage that authorization and authentication both using that?
See, if you enable that this Spring Security, no, then all the methods we can protect all the methods,
Mm-hmm.
and we are getting the principal uh, using the user principal. We and from there itself you can get the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can also disable the access. There is a overridden method called configure or something. Configure. In that you can write which all URLs, that is slash home, or which all has to be protected on which all roles, that you can write.
Okay, that's fine.
That,
So,
that is one way. We have a top web seal also. So
mm-hmm.
roles and all specific of method level you can protect and
At application level or
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Other way we are using is using JWT token with opcode. That is another way without using Spring. That is with Azure product, Azure Office 365 APIs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
when it comes in the Spring means we have to add the Spring security in the pom.xml and use this way. Enable auto config, enable Spring security, enable global. There's a two annotations on that.
Mm.
Then use the LDAP providers and write that, override that configure and
Okay. How? Okay. Got it. So coming to the next section, that is microservices. So I hope you are currently working in microservices.
yeah, yes, yes.
So what are the components which you have used in your application?
See, I have used regarding to cloud. I can say I have used
Mm-hmm.
Azure AD and all for security purpose.
Mm-hmm.
These individual microservices using Spring Boot, I have written services,
Mm-hmm.
and I have used this Eureka plugins for say Eureka server for integrating this.
Mm-hmm.
And that is I have used these Rust templates are there, which we can call another one to another microservice. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we do deployment in a different way. We have there is a multiple ways. Is when we started, we deployed with Azure web apps. So that's a simple way,
If
and
I
then we
ask
do.
you to write, can you could please write your the architecture of your project? Can you write?
Yeah,
So just please share your screen and you can use any notepad, paint, whatever you want, online editor, whatever you can.
paint. Okay, paint. Okay, paint. I will.
Or there is an online whiteboard. You can also use that one.
That no, I don't have. Paint I will use. Paint will be okay, right?
Mm.
Okay. One second. You are able to see, right?
All right, I can see.
Okay. Cloud. Okay. And we have. I'll put boxes only. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's the same way we also used to explain using Paint. We have very limited option here.
Okay. Reduce and first is okay. User is outside the cloud. Okay. Okay. Wait, he's inside the cloud only. It's a tower network. First is the we have the Azure application gateway. It has a load balancer also. Okay. And we have one um, load load balancer. Okay. We can have here it is our small service called it's receivable. Receivable. Okay. This is one of service. Then this is another uh, voice. I'm not describing all the other services. I will
Mm-hmm.
have, okay. Here we have a okay. Here one thing is missing. Yeah. We have a Eureka client also here. Mention. What is left? Show application. API management. Then discovery. This also directly also will have this directly. Then other external. Okay, some external is coming here. So this will comes like this.
Mm-hmm.
You have services are these are it's just a representation. I mentioned it invoice
Mm-hmm.
receivable
Yeah.
release testing and upload service. So services has been broken down into multiple services,
Mm-hmm.
and these services we used to call separately for testing also in Azure API. It's a endpoint. It's a API management tool service. We can bring all these APIs together in the Azure API management.
Mm-hmm.
And here one more thing is missing. UI is missing. One second. And UI. UI. It's running on a UI on a running on a separate. Tomcat. It's calling it's consuming from here. Okay, so these services comes through here, and user is access through Azure API Gateway. This is a layer 4 HTTP management with load balancer.
Mm-hmm.
Traffics are coming through here. We can configure based on a DNS also. So from there, it will comes to the load balancer, which we have configured with the certificate and all for this external, also for here also. So it will comes to the Azure API. So all this call comes here, and we can see all these services here.
Mm-hmm.
And these services, then these are separately deployed as a. Usually we have multiple way. We use to cloud. We have a Spring Cloud also.
Mm-hmm.
So these are Docker inside a Docker container, I can say container, and these are all container as deployed as a container, and and uh,
So
this
in order to
this
deploy these in container, how you create images? So is there any pipeline to create or
yeah
you manually do?
pipeline. See, we have a sure DevOps pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be in a Azure Kubernetes cluster. Moonsault is not there. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
this has to come here. This our all things in AKS. DB is outside. We are not managing. We are calling the DB from other team. So
Mm-hmm.
these are all in our resource management. These are in our resource management group. Okay, these project is there. It has to go outside. I think this is outside. Okay, this MuleSoft is outside because we don't have interaction with those teams outside. I mentioned this box. Okay, this is outside,
Okay,
and
understood.
this UI is also inside. This is inside our. Okay, anyway, it is in our. It is another one container. Okay, so it will contact with our. It will contact to the. This is also inside a case of container inside. Okay. So this will contact everything for UI also. We'll be exposing the port for this endpoint, all the service, and the UI will consume it. So each service comes through this, and this direct link is for testing purpose and all. We have made directly we can call and test this test see and the performance of these services. So this
Okay.
Eureka will have multiple. So it will go in which
Mm-hmm.
how to communicate is in suppose if you are want to do a invoice listing,
Mm-hmm.
it will go here and there is a name given for this invoice listing. It will. These are the Spring clients. Spring client of this Eureka service server. We'll have Tom dependency for this client.
So in case of high traffic, is there any way that we can increase the invoice listing?
Yeah, this if you do if you can have the conditions in the uh, that is based on the number of CPU increase the CPU cycle. We
Mm.
can increase that whatever
Number of instances.
number of instances. That conditions we can mention.
That
So
if
it
the
will on
traffic
the
is
peak time, on the traffic increases only it will do it, and after that it will go into that unit will be reduced. So we
mm,
are installing all the things in your resource group. All things are in the P2 V3 of Azure Cloud, which has plenty of available CPU cycle and memory.
mm,
It's in V3 V2. So initially, if you are using the smaller services, we don't go for this much because this needs a lot of management. We have a small
mm,
team, 1 or 2 people working. It'll be difficult to manage all the things. So we have web apps way also doing. It's a no need to go for this all the things. Everything will be managed by Azure. It's a small application we can do it that way. Everything will
right.
be from here.
You're saying absolutely correct. For a smaller application, we should not
So
go
no
for
need to,
this.
yeah, if this is like, this may go up because they are modernizing the application. So then only we have to go for this elaborate. So because fixing issues, and also again you have to go and monitor this Azure API services where that services is broken down for find out any issues comes where the issue has happened. Is it the issue in the gateway it has happened?
Mm,
So actually, the a big team should be there. With the smaller team, it's very limited. So we don't go for elaborate use of these all things.
right, right. Okay, Nitin, I think I'm done from my side. Okay, it was
Okay.
nice talking to you. Okay,
Okay.
really. So, any question for me?
So actually, what do you people are expecting, or are you from the team, or
No, I'm not from a team. So